You are 27 years old. You sit at your kitchen table in Pasadena, filling out the NASA astronaut application. It is 4 a.m. You have a PhD in aerospace engineering from MIT. You have logged 1,500 hours as a Navy F-18 pilot. You have run 2 marathons this year. You still feel unqualified. The application is 18 pages. It asks for every address you have lived at since age 18. It asks for every medical diagnosis you have ever received. It asks you to explain in 500 words or less why you want to leave Earth. You submit it on a Tuesday in February. You wait. 18 months pass. You forget about it most days. You are at a conference in San Diego when your phone rings. It is a 281 area code, Houston. You are one of 120 candidates selected for in-person interviews out of 12,000 applicants. You fly to Johnson Space Center the next month. You spend a week in medical exams, psychological evaluations, and panel interviews. You answer questions about your worst failure, your greatest fear, your reason for existing. You fly home. You wait again. You are 28 years old. You open an email on a Tuesday afternoon in Houston. The subject line says NASA Astronaut Candidate Program. You read it 4 times. You are one of the 10 they chose out of 12,000. You call your wife. She screams. Your father, a wheat farmer in Kansas, doesn't understand what you're telling him. He cries anyway. You report to the Johnson Space Center in August. You are an astronaut candidate, an ASCAN. You make $72,000 a year as a GS-12 civil servant. Your first day, they hand you a blue flight suit. Your name tag is blank. You haven't earned a patch yet. For the next 2 years, you study robotics, Russian, orbital mechanics, and spacewalk procedures. You spend 400 hours in the neutral buoyancy lab in a 6.2 million gallon pool wearing a 300-pound suit. You fly T-38 jets out of Ellington Field at Mach 1.2. Your wife barely sees you. Your daughter is born in your 2nd month of training. You miss her first word. You tell yourself it will be worth it. You don't know yet if it will. 2 years pass. You pin on the silver astronaut pin on a Friday morning in a small ceremony at Building 9 in Houston. You are a qualified NASA astronaut now. You make $89,000 a year as a GS-13. The silver pin means you are eligible for flight. It does not mean you will fly. Some people wait 5 years, some wait 10, some never fly at all. You go to work every day and do technical assignments. You help design procedures for missions you are not on. You sit in a cubicle and write software requirements for a docking adapter. You test spacesuit gloves and vacuum chambers. You watch friends get selected for flights and you smile, and you mean it, and you also don't. Your daughter turns 4. She asks why the other kids' dads come home for dinner. You don't have a good answer. You run 6 miles every morning. You study Soyuz emergency procedures in Russian. You wait. 3 more years pass. You are 34 years old. The phone rings. It is the chief of the astronaut office. Your name is on a crew list. You are 35. You are a mission specialist assigned to a 6-month expedition on the International Space Station. You make $112,000 a year as a GS-13. Training is 2.5 years of 14-hour days. You fly to Star City outside Moscow for 3 months at a time. You learn to survive in the Kazakh winter in case your Soyuz capsule lands off course in the steppe. You learn underwater. You learn in centrifuges at 8G. You learn everything twice because space does not care if you forget. The morning of your launch, you sit in the suit-up room in Baikonur, Kazakhstan. Your wife is watching from the viewing stands with your daughter, who is now 7. You hug them through a glass wall at quarantine. Your daughter puts her palm flat against the glass. You put yours against hers. 2 hours later, you strap into a Soyuz rocket on top of 300 tons of liquid oxygen and kerosene. The engines light. Your body weighs 4 times what it should. 9 minutes later, you are weightless. You have left the Earth. You cry inside your helmet. No one sees it. You are 38. You are a flight engineer on your 2nd mission. You make $127,000 a year as a GS-14. You command the robotic arm, the Canadarm 2, capturing SpaceX Dragon capsules in orbit at 17,500 miles per hour. Your hands cannot shake. Your voice cannot break. One wrong input and you destroy a $200 million spacecraft and kill the resupply mission that keeps the station alive. You do 6 spacewalks in your career. Each one is 7 hours of the hardest work a human body can do. You work with gloves so stiff they tear your fingernails off. You lose 12 pounds in a single EVA. You come back inside shaking, unable to hold a spoon for an hour. On your second mission, your mother dies while you are in orbit. Mission Control tells you in a private video link at 3 a.m. Houston time. You watch the funeral from 250 miles above the Earth on a laptop taped to a handrail. You cannot fly home. You cannot be held. You float to the cupola and look down at Kansas. You see the exact piece of land where she is being buried. You don't speak for 6 hours. Your crewmates leave you alone. They know. You are 44. You are a spacecraft commander. You lead a crew of 3 to the International Space Station. You make $148,000 a year as a GS-15. You are responsible for every life on board, every decision, every emergency. You train your crew for 3 years. You know their families. You know their fears. You know which of them gets claustrophobic in the Soyuz simulator. On orbit, an alarm goes off at 2 a.m. Houston time. Ammonia leak detected in the U.S. segment. You have 9 minutes to isolate the module before the toxic coolant reaches the crew quarters. You do it in 7. Mission Control never hears you raise your voice. You return to Earth after 197 days. You cannot walk for 3 weeks. Your bones have lost 10% of their density. Your heart has shrunk. You cannot regulate your own blood pressure. Your daughter is 26. She picks you up from the rehab center in Johnson Space Center and drives you home. She is taller than your wife now. She has your father's eyes. You don't recognize the house. You don't recognize yourself. You have been a different person in a different world for 28 weeks. The Earth feels too heavy. You will feel that weight for the rest of your life. You are 49. You are the chief of the astronaut office. You manage all 44 active astronauts and astronaut candidates. You make $183,000 a year as a senior executive service official. You stop training for missions. You sign the paperwork that sends your friends to space. You write the recommendation letters that decide who flies and who doesn't. You sit on selection boards and pick the next generation of astronaut candidates. You remember sitting on the other side of that table at 28, terrified and certain you would never be chosen, and you try to see each applicant the way someone once saw you. You testify before the House Committee on Science, Space, and Technology about the Artemis mission. You speak at elementary schools. Kids ask you if space is scary. You tell them the scariest part is not the rocket. The scariest part is the goodbyes. You attend 3 memorial services during your tenure. 2 for friends who died of cancers linked to radiation exposure, 1 for a crewmate lost in a training accident. You write the letters to their families yourself. You wear your silver pin to every funeral. You never fly in space again. You don't say it out loud, but you know. You are 54. You are the Deputy Associate Administrator for Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate at NASA headquarters in Washington. You make $201,000 a year. You and your wife moved from Houston after 26 years. She cries packing the kitchen. Your daughter is 26 and living in Pasadena. You oversee Artemis mission planning. You approve the crew selection for the first woman on the moon. You meet with the president twice. You brief Congress on budget requests. You haven't worn a flight suit in 5 years. You wear suits now. Dark ones, quiet ones. You speak at the Kennedy Space Center every Apollo anniversary. You meet Jim Lovell once. He is 93. He holds your hand for a long time. You realize you are now the age Lovell was when he took you up to the podium as a young candidate and told you the quiet ones make the best commanders. You wonder if he was right. You wonder if you are quiet enough. You are 56. You are the Associate Administrator for Space Operations at NASA headquarters in Washington. You make $221,000 a year. You have been to space 3 times. You have logged 412 days in orbit. You have done 6 spacewalks totaling 42 hours outside a spacecraft. You have seen the Earth from outside, and you know something almost no one else knows. You know what the planet sounds like from 250 miles up. It sounds like nothing. It is the quietest thing you will ever hear. Your daughter is now 28 years old. She works at JPL in Pasadena. She designs Mars rovers. She calls you on Sundays. She asks you what space smells like. You tell her it smells like welding smoke and ozone. She laughs. She saves the voicemail. Your wife has been patient for 30 years. You take her to dinner on a Friday in October at a restaurant in Georgetown. You tell her you are retiring at the end of the year. She cries. She has been waiting longer than you have. You sit on your porch in Alexandria that night. You look up. The sky is hazy. You cannot see many stars from the city, but you know exactly where the station is. You always know. You check the tracking app on your phone every night without realizing you're doing it. You don't feel small anymore. You feel like you left a piece of yourself up there. You realize you did, and it is still up there, and it always will be.